Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the untold stories of Hollywood's most underrated stars. Today we're tackling one of the biggest mysteries in recent teen idol history. What happened to Dylan O'Brien after his massive success in the Maze Runner series? You remember him, right? That charming, sarcastic guy who stole our hearts as Styles in Teen Wolf and led us through the Glade as Thomas in Maze Runner. He was everywhere from 2014 to 2018. Red carpets, blockbuster hits, millions of fans screaming his name, and then, poof. He seemed to vanish from the spotlight. No more YA franchises. No constant tabloid drama. Did he quit acting? Burn out? Or was there something darker at play? Stick around, because we're breaking it all down. The rise, the fall, the near career-ending accident, and his incredible comeback that's happening right now in 2026. If you're a fan of Teen Wolf, Maze Runner, or just love a good Hollywood redemption story, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives like this. Let's get into it. To understand where Dylan O'Brien disappeared to, we have to start at the beginning. Dylan Rhodes O'Brien was born on August 26, 1991 in New York City. His mom, Lisa, is a former actress who ran an acting school, and his dad, Patrick, is a camera operator who's worked on shows like The Sopranos. Growing up, Dylan was surrounded by the film world, but he didn't initially plan to act. He wanted to be behind the camera, just like his dad, maybe a cinematographer, or a sports broadcaster, since he was obsessed with the New York Mets. The family moved to Springfield Township, New Jersey when he was young, and then to Hermosa Beach, California at age 12. That's where Dylan started messing around with YouTube in high school. Yeah, you heard that right. Before he was a star, he was posting goofy videos under the username MovieKid826. Things like comedy sketches and Mets commentary. One of his videos even went semi-viral, catching the eye of a producer who encouraged him to audition for acting gigs. Dylan enrolled in community college, planning to transfer to Syracuse University for film school. But fate had other plans. In 2010, at just 19, he auditioned for MTV's Teen Wolf reboot. He originally went for the lead role of Scott McCall, but the producer saw something special in his audition and cast him as Styles Stilinski, the sarcastic, loyal best friend. It was a perfect fit. Teen Wolf premiered in 2011 and ran for 6 seasons until 2017, with Dylan appearing in nearly every episode. Styles became a fan favorite. Memes everywhere. That iconic Jeep, the Void Styles arc in Season 3B that showed his immense dramatic range. Critics praised him for bringing heart and humor to the show, and it launched him straight into stardom. During Teen Wolf, Dylan dipped his toes into movies. His first film was the indie comedy High Road in 2011, which was mostly improvised. Then came The First Time in 2012. A rom-com where he played the lead opposite Britt Robertson, who he dated in real life for about 6 years after meeting on set. They were Hollywood's cute couple for a while, but kept things private. By 2013, he snagged a supporting role in The Internship with Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson, showing he could hold his own with comedy vets. But the real breakthrough? The Maze Runner in 2014. Based on James Dashner's YA novels, Dylan played Thomas, the amnesiac teen thrown into a deadly labyrinth with other boys. The film was a smash hit, grossing over $348 million worldwide on a $34 million budget. Suddenly, Dylan was a bona fide action star. He did most of his own stunts, running through those massive sets, and fans loved his everyman heroism. The sequels followed. Maze Runner, The Scorch Trials in 2015, and The Death Cure in 2018. The trilogy made over $948 million total, cementing Dylan as the face of YA dystopias alongside stars like Jennifer Lawrence or Shailene Woodley. Off-screen, he was charming in interviews, that quick wit, the humble vibe. He even hosted SNL sketches in his mind, but in reality, he was building a resume with true depth. In 2016, he starred in Deepwater Horizon with Mark Wahlberg, playing a real-life oil rig worker in the BP disaster story, a gritty, dramatic shift. Then, American Assassin in 2017, where he trained intensely to play a CIA recruit seeking revenge. At his peak, Dylan was on every teen magazine cover, had over 5 million Instagram followers, and was rumored for big roles like Spider-Man. Life seemed perfect, but Hollywood has a way of throwing curveballs. March 17, 2016. Vancouver, Canada. On the set of Maze Runner, The Death Cure. Dylan was filming a high-octane action sequence. He's strapped to the top of a moving vehicle in a harness, simulating a chase. What happened next changed everything. According to reports, there was a miscommunication with the stunt team. The vehicle he was on collided with another, or perhaps the harness failed. Details vary, but the result was catastrophic. Dylan was thrown off, suffering a severe concussion, facial fractures, and brain trauma. Production shut down immediately. He was rushed to the hospital where doctors performed reconstructive surgery on his face. In interviews years later, Dylan opened up about it. In a 2020 chat with Variety, he said, "I was in a really bad place. I had to extract myself from that situation and go home and heal." He described the pain. It was very scary. I basically had to relearn how to walk and talk. The accident delayed the film by almost a year. It was supposed to release in 2017, but came out in 2018. Dylan pushed through, returning to set despite the trauma. But mentally, it shattered him. He told The Hollywood Reporter in 2022, "I questioned if I even wanted to act anymore. My whole identity was wrapped up in this career, and suddenly it felt dangerous." He'd raised safety concerns before the stunt, but felt they weren't fully addressed. This led to industry discussions about stunt safety, especially for young actors. Dylan suffered from anxiety, PTSD-like symptoms, and a fear of big sets. In a 2024 podcast, he admitted, "I avoided action movies for a while. It was like exposure therapy when I did American Assassin right after. I had to face it head on." The physical scars healed, but the emotional ones lingered. Fans noticed he stepped back from the spotlight. No more constant press tours, fewer social media posts. He even deleted his Instagram in 2018, saying in interviews that it wasn't healthy and that execs pressured him to post more, which he hated. This disappearance wasn't a quit, it was survival. Dylan took time to heal, focusing on smaller, meaningful projects. He broke up with Britt Robertson around this time, adding to the personal upheaval. But slowly, he rebuilt. So where did he go? Straight into some of the best work of his career. Post-accident, Dylan chose quality over quantity. In 2019, he guest starred in Weird City, a sci-fi anthology. Then 2020's Love and Monsters, a post-apocalyptic rom-com on Netflix that earned him rave reviews for his charm and vulnerability. It was nominated for an Oscar for visual effects, and Dylan called it therapeutic, light-hearted adventure without the massive pressure. 2021 brought Infinite with Mark Wahlberg again, and a hilarious cameo in Taylor Swift's all-too-well short film as the Toxic Ex. Fans went wild. It showed his range and emotional scenes. 2022 was big. Not Okay, a dark comedy about social media fame, where he played a supportive boyfriend opposite Zoe Deutsch. Then The Outfit, a crime thriller with Mark Rylance. Critics loved his intense performance as a mobster's son. Maximum Truth in 2023 was a mockumentary satire. By 2024, he was diversifying. Pony Boy, an indie about a transgender sex worker. A bold, transformative role that premiered at Sundance and earned him buzz for sensitivity and depth. He played Vinny, drawing from real stories. Also in 2024, Phantasmas on HBO. Saturday night as Dan Aykroyd in Jason Reitman's SNL biopic. Hilarious and spot-on impressions. Caddo Lake, a mystery thriller produced by M. Night Shyamalan. 2025 kicked off his major comeback. Twinless, where he played dual roles as twins dealing with grief. It won the Audience Award at Sundance 2025, boasts 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, and just landed on streaming. Dylan executive produced it too, showing his growth behind the scenes. Anniversary, a drama with Diane Keaton about family secrets. And now, in March of 2026, Dylan's hotter than ever. Send Help, released January 30th, 2026, directed by Sam Raimi, stars him opposite Rachel McAdams as a boss-employee duo stranded on an island. It's a mix of comedy, horror, and drama. Think Castaway meets Misery. It opened with $20 million at the box office. Critics are praising the chemistry and twists. Dylan told Forbes, "Working with Rachel and Sam was a dream. It pushed me in new ways." He's promoting it everywhere, including Good Morning America. Upcoming? Being Human, a completed biopic about disability rights activist Judy Human, where Dylan plays Evan White. Marceau in pre-production. Details sparse, but it's historical drama. He just received the Game Changer Award at the 2026 Astra Film Awards in January, recognizing his indie contributions. At the Spirit Awards in February 2026, he presented and looked sharper than ever. He reunited with Teen Wolf co-stars like Arden Cho and Tyler Posey. He told AOL he's still close with the cast, saying, "Nothing can replace those experiences." Fans are buzzing about a potential Teen Wolf reunion project. Dylan O'Brien didn't disappear. He evolved. From a YouTube kid to a YA superstar, through a life-altering accident, to a respected indie actor in his 30s. At 34 now, he's selective, prioritizing mental health and passion projects. In a recent BAFTA interview, he said he's still coming to terms with Teen Wolf's popularity. Humble as ever, his story is a reminder Hollywood can break you, but it doesn't have to define you. If this inspired you, drop a comment. What's your favorite Dylan role? Maze Runner? Teen Wolf? Or something newer like Send Help? Like, subscribe and turn on notifications for more stories on underrated actors like Kristen Ritter or Rose Byrne next. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.